Today, I'm going to share a little bit of my topic is the power of listening. I'm going to share my screen here. So I think in this very special time, the one skill I went through this business and I had a look at all the profile of all the big diamonds. I was thinking, they all share one common things. They all have different styles. Some very outgoing, some very introvert people, but they all share one thing that they are very, very good communicator. When you're becoming a very, very good communicator, you have unbelievable capability to actually listen. What is the simple definition of listening? So paying attention to someone or something. So we're saying that pay attention and to hear what someone has said and understand that is serious, important, or true to them. So I'm going to bring out three words today: attention, hear, and understand. I think this is very, very important. Even today, when we're at home, when you want to communicate with somebody, and all you need to do is to actually pay attention that you're going to be there for them. And when this pandemic over, it's going to be over, like Dan said, it's going to be over sooner or later. And you're going to build a very, very strong relationships. Now, if you haven't read this book, I would suggest you to read it. It's a very, very simple book to read it. And it's Stephen Covey's best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, in page 235, habit 5, if you read it, it says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So one of the 3 words, understand. Now, if you look at this true meaning of listening, it creates like a deep connection with 3 kind of people, circumstances, individuals, so one-on-one. So when we go out and talking to people, it is one-on-one individual, or you can be in a group like Zoom. So if you are here listening, then if you actually deeply listening, and we will get connected to each other. So it's a Zoom. Even you can do it. It's great social media. Like Alisa just said, we can actually still connect to everybody. And self. So we all know that. When I look at all the successful people, one of the common things they all share, apart good communicator, is also they all have their self time. So what is meant by self time? I think you get up in the morning. It's very important to actually listen to yourself. So talk to yourself is one of the, I think, things I really learned through our business, is to actually listen to myself, to ask yourself question. And one obstacle between them is the stress that causes us to listen. Like, I actually learned this through my wife. My wife ever say, "You never listen to me." I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean I'm never listening to you? I'm trying to making money and all this." You get stressed. When you get stressed, you stop listening to people. So this time is very, very unique time. It's very, very stressful time, and that we particularly need to take our stress out of it and try to listen to the people on the other side of the phone. We're not going to see each other face to face. We try to listen to other side on the Zoom, or actually in the text. You read them, but you're actually listening to them. It's very important, because why? When we create 3 things, so I call you need 3 to create 3. So the first thing you need actually to open your mind. One of my favorite Chinese quote, as said by Confucius, says, "Among 3 of us walking, there will be one who I can learn from." So if you open your mind and you actually start having the learning process to that person, and that, to me, one of these most important thing is know me. Okay, when you actually open your mind, you drop your me. There's no I, there's no me. There's no I or no me in the entire conversation. You drop that voice, because when you listen, you actually learn. So the first rule of the listening is to actually open your mind. Then once you open your mind, what happens? You start focusing. All right, we're having a lot of phones. I know we just talked about social media and stuff like that, but have you find out there's so many circumstances when you go out talking to people, that person on the other side of the table is constantly looking at the phones. Yeah, well, they try to connect it, but they are actually not connecting. All right, it's the same thing. When you actually try to talk to people on the text, if you try to text people, or if you try to talk to people on the Zoom, if you actually constantly, you think people don't know, you screwing your Facebooks, you screwing your WeChat, you think people, they don't know, but they can actually tell. You actually try to looking in other texts, Twitters, look at images, why you actually try to prospect me, or why you try to talk to whatever. And that's, to me, there's no respect. Okay, and people can tell, because people say, did you hear that? You're like, oh, okay, I missed that part. So there's millions posts pinned on the social media every day. So when we do actually listen, please guys, take a couple of minutes. Just when you listen to people, drop your phone, and if you have calling people, that's okay. Don't put on your earphone and try to screw your text. So you want to have screen out all this external noise. And the third thing we need is to play back what we actually heard. So that brings out the no judgment. So when you actually talk to people back, you actually want to have a communicate no judgment. I think that's really important. The true listener, I think, is they never judge people to have that feedback. You don't put judgment. You just simply say, look, I heard your story. I heard you having going through a very difficult time, and I want to be here to understand you. I think this is really important. You just want to give something back, simply just say, look, I heard you, and this is really important. And once you do that three things, you create another three things. You start creating three very important things. You create curiosity. Why you create curiosity? Because you can't open your mind unless you're curious about something. The only thing we listen to our teacher is because we are curious from learning. We want to learn. That's why we start curious. So you bring the curiosity and to people. So people always like to be attracted. I feel a lot better when somebody is curious of my story and stuff like that. So curiosity. And the second thing, you actually create a concentration. So you need to concentrate to actually listen to people. When you listen, you create a concentration. And then the third thing, the most important thing, you create connection. This is one of the most important things. You start connecting with that person on the other side of camera, on other side of even the text. You can connect that people on other side of the social media. The person on the other side is going to create three things. What three things? If you are curious, they are going to curious back. They're going to create interest in you. Whatever you want to approach to them, they are interested at you. They're going to be interested at your ASEA. Okay, then if you concentrate, if you focus on them, and if you drop your phone, whatever, just take everything out and focus on them, they're going to pay attention to you. They're going to pay attention to whatever is behind you. It doesn't matter. You don't put this at the front, but they're going to pay attention to you. And the third, and the most important thing is when you can create a connection, they create engagement. They are start engaging with you, and they know. Then we brought a most important thing, understanding. This is the common, I think, the ground to actually build a friendship, husband, wives, teachers, students. Every single relationship on this planet is built on understanding. When joining this company, I actually looked through all the major successful diamonds, not even in ASEA. Look at everybody in other companies as well. I find it's interesting. There's three profiles that people are actually made quite a lot in the network marketing. One is the doctor, second profession is mom, and third is the teacher. And we look at all these diamonds today. We look at Dr. Silverman. He's obviously a doctor. And if you say, oh, of course, doctor can be a very good, successful in this health sector because they're doctor, they know the knowledge. Then we'll ask you the second question. So why Danny and Lisa, they will be good at that thing because what, they're mom? But then if you look at teachers like Ed, Bart, and then, Alan, Noble, and Bo Buck, all these people, Mel, they are a teacher. So all these three people, they have one common very ground is they actually very, very good communicator. And they're actually very good listener. I want to give my last couple of slides to you. These four words we call in Chinese, we call 望闻问切. As you look at the photos, there's one ear, there's mouth, and there's a hand. So what does that mean? Is to actually, the first you do is to see and to feel. All right, let me say this. These four words, every single doctor in China or in Asia or around the world, they diagnose based on these four words. First, they have to see and feel. Second, the most important is to listen. Then is to ask a question. Then the fourth one is to diagnose. So you actually, they always say 80-20. So 80 is to see, to look at, to feel, and to listen. And only 20% is to ask a question, and to diagnose is the end. So I think if we follow this, if we just listen to people, it's going to bring all the answers out because the world has given all the answers that we need. And all we need is to actually learn to listen. I'm just going to finish one of the stories that just a mini story, if I still got a minute. This is actually I learned from my upline, Rich Lee. And he actually taught me this four letter, 望闻问切. And this four letter not just actually helped me on the ground of ASEA business, it actually helped me to build up my leadership. Because to being a better leader, to step up in this very, very special time, we need to listen more what actually people around you what their concern is, what their fear is, what problem is. Then you give your positivities, you give your happiness, and through whatever, offer them a great opportunity. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.